I'm talking about. "11 straight innings of absolutely shoving it right up their keisters. Your All-American. Your All-American comes up to the plate. Dylan Cruz leads it off. Manasseh, by the way, Manasseh was the guy for Wake Forest who came out and said literally days ago, nobody can beat us. The very first pitch, Tommy Tanks sends one all the way to Mars that a rocket built by Elon Musk couldn't go out there and get it. You cannot make this up. What a game. Holy cow, what a game. In the bottom of the 11th, Tommy Tanks, 2-run shot, ends it, kill shot. I got to be honest. That was the game. That was arguably the best LSU game I've ever watched with a guy not named Warren Morris in it. Hold the rope. Hold the rope. And you absolutely delivered. You held the rope. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. How insane is that? Oh, give me a minute to calm myself here. But nevertheless, we are going to the College World Series Championship. You face Florida. The last time that you were there, you faced them in 2017. You lost a heartbreaker. We go and get a chance to go get redemption. A chance to go and get redemption. Paul Skeens, listen, it was the argument. It was the argument the entire time. My wife says I'm screaming. The entire time, the last 24 hours, you and I have come on this show, and the big debate was after you won last night, rising from the ash like a phoenix, rising from the ashes out of the loser's bracket. The number one team, the best team in the country, you got to beat twice. They had not lost 2 games back-to-back all year long. And you delivered. You're All-American. By the way, I don't care what you say in the chat, the best pitcher that's ever worn a uniform that has tigers across the chest, Paul Skeens, had his best game. And it, quite honestly, he didn't completely have his best stuff. He goes out there and absolutely delivers, giving you 8 innings, 9 Ks, breaks the record that's been held for 34 years. 34 years. And quite honestly, I know that he threw 120 pitches today. You are going to have to convince him that if you don't get in the game 3 scenario, that he's not going back in there. Not to start, maybe out of the pen. You're going to have to tell him that. What a game. Guys, this game, quite honestly, came down to all pitching. You know it. I know it. I'm not saying anything miraculous here, okay? But let me give an example. In the last inning, in the top of the 11th, you gave up an infield single to Hawk. He steals a base. You walk Costello, the best hitter on Wake Forest's team. The best hitter. The ACC's best hitter, and Wilkin comes up. Hurd gets him to fly out. That was the first hit that they got. The first hit that they had got for 5 innings. You locked them down. They were completely locked down. Without question, they were locked down. Then you come into the top of the 11th and you end it with Tommy Tanks. Hitting is contagious. The old saying, hitting is contagious. You deliver. The play of the night, though, not outside of, obviously, Tommy Tanks' home run. Trey Morgan on the sacrifice bunt, getting it to Milazzo, playing it perfectly. The best first baseman defensively, it has to be the best defensive first baseman in college baseball's history. Has to be. Because you go to the 8th. Skeens is still in. He's running out of gas, if not already past E. He walks Johnson. The sack bunt. Trey Morgan delivers there for you. Winnie, who is replaced by replaces Nick Kurtz because of the rib injury, he strikes out. Okay. But before that, there's a pass ball. Okay. So then you have a runner on second. Sack bunt. Excuse me. Let me back up. The pass ball on the K, he gets to first base. So you have a runner on first and third, 1 out. Houston would attempt a sacrifice bunt that Trey Morgan would deliver. Runners on first and third, 1 out, top of the 8th, sacrifice bunt, and he delivers defensively. Hawk would come out and line out to Josh Pearson. That was that arguably, that's the best college baseball game that I've ever seen. That's the best college baseball game that I've ever seen. Send in your comments, send in your chats. If you do send in the super chats on YouTube, we get to those first. But let's get to a couple of them. I'm just going to start picking them at random. Okay. Cortland Jacob says, you just had to get to the 11th to get back to the top, I'm assuming. Holden Lee says, so glad we off tomorrow. I need a mental break. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the absolute truth? Derek Easton says it was great umpire, by the way. I thought he was pretty consistent, maybe missed a few here and there. Penn Jones says, cut the 35-year crap out. Now I feel old because I was there when Ben set that record. It's true. It's true. Joe says I-12 is shut down and traffic is at a standstill, but I'm not complaining because the Tigers won. Boy, ain't that a story. Ain't that a story? Jocelyn says that the Jello shots are about to be 50K, about to hit 50K. I bet you they are. Because there's going to be a wave of LSU fans that hits in there. Do us a favor before that, though. Hit the like and share if you haven't done so already. If you're on Facebook, hit that like button, hit the share button. YouTube, do the same. This post-game show is brought to you by our good friends over at betonline.ag. That's betonline.ag. You can use your mobile device for all of the College World Series. Use the promo code BELIEVE50 at checkout. That's BELIEVE50, BLEAV50 to get a 50% off welcome bonus on that first deposit. Also, this post-game is brought to you by Blue Chew. Guys, I know you're a little rocked up right now. You probably don't need anything. But just in case that you do, go over to our friends over at Blue Chew. Use the promo code SPORTS20. You got a whole packages. You get free. You get free delivery, all of that. Go to Blue Chew. Use that promo code SPORTS20. That way that they know that Blake Ruffino at AYS sent you on by. All right. Whoa. Blake, I'm on big screen, ball. Good. Gary Anderson says, yes, sir. How about them? What about them Tigers? Amazing game, man. Amazing game. How about this? Jeff Fudge says the last 30 innings, Blake, 2 earned runs. That's legendary stuff. Look, we're going to continue to talk about it, right? Like, we're going to continue to talk about this. You're starting pitching. Your bullpen has been nothing short of electric. Nothing short of electric. You are leading the College World Series in ERA. You are leading the College World Series in ERA. And by the way, you've played more games than anybody. It's been what you're doing at the plate that has been the issue. But tonight, man, was an outright thriller. And look, LSU at the plate, we literally 24 hours ago on this show said this. I wasn't surprised. Rhett Lauder is a top 10 pick, and he's going to pitch in the major leagues. I mean, he is a stone-cold killer, okay? Dude, look, you can make fun of his long hair. You can make fun of a lot of the stuff that he does. It does not really matter. It does not matter, right? He shoved. But the thing about tonight that is so amazing, he would go 1, 2, 3. Paul Skeens would go 1, 2, 3. He would go 1, 2, 3. Let me read off how many 1, 2, 3 innings we had tonight. You had 1 in the top of the first, 1 in the top of the second, 1 in the bottom of the third, 1 in the bottom of the fifth, 1 in the top of the sixth. So, like I'm saying, every single time Lauder would get a 1, 2, 3, Skeens would come right back and get a 1, 2, 3. You got another one in the sixth from Skeens in the top of the sixth. Bottom of the seventh, or top of the seventh, Skeens again, man. Let me see how many innings that is. That's seventh, sixth, fourth, second, and first. So 5 of his first 7 innings were 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Both guys, Lauder in the bottom of the seventh, I mean, he struck out the last 2 guys that he saw. Maybe they shouldn't have pulled that guy. But the tweaker, the guy that's on meth, he came in rolling, and Massey came in the 8th, and they delivered too, man. They were fantastic. They were fantastic. But I'm telling you, out of the 2 best individual performances that you will ever see, okay? The play of the night is Trey Morgan. The play of the night is Trey Morgan in the 8th. Runners on first and third, 1 out, sacrifice bunt, he delivers. And Matt Trent, who played college baseball for 5 years, I agree with him here. He texted me right as that play happened. He said, Blake, you understand how massive and disciplined it is to not underhand that, but, you know, the soft little push pass, or what you would call a short little push, to get it in there to Milazzo to take the momentum there with him. And he delivered. That was the play of the night. The top of the 8th inning was it. And you know what else, man? You got to give Thatcher Hurd a lot of credit. He comes into the top of the 9th. You had the ground ball to Dugas. He slid to get that. Fantastic defensive play by Doogie. A line out in to Jobert, which, by the way, this goes unnoticed. Like the top of the 9th, this completely goes unnoticed. Ball is slicing away from Brain Jobert, and a guy that would not have made that play a year ago defensively delivered. And then Doogie would finish it off, another ground ball. Thatcher Hurd came in the top of the 10th. He went 1, 2, 3 again. He got a fly out, a line out to Gavin Dugas, and a fly out to Dylan Cruz. Top of the 11th. He still delivered. Like, he was electric. He strikes out Winnie. He gets Houston to fly out to Thompson. The infield single, okay, by Hawk, he would steal the base, which puts some pressure on you. You walk Costello to get to the best hitter in the ACC. You get him to fly out to Cruz. Wow, man. Wow. And then, you know it, hey, I bet it nobody in here hates the transfer portal right now. Because Tommy Tanks, the legend, he will go down as a legend now, bro. I mean, if he wasn't already, Tommy Tanks is a Bayou legend. Slide piece comes in there, and he just crushed it. He had struggled the last two games, right? Like, it kind of looked like he had been lost. Jay calls him over there. One pitch, the one hit a quitter. The one hit a quitter. Cody McGee with a $999 super chat. He says, Skeens was on fire tonight. Hell of a game. Now time for revenge on them Gators and Blake, those Gators are Tiger bait. Yes, they are, Cody. Yes, they are. Redemption. You literally, this is deja vu, man. Thank you, Cody, for the super chat, buddy. I really appreciate that. It's deja vu. It is deja vu. Man. Whew. Again, I can't, my heart cannot take this. I don't know about y'all. My heart cannot take this. Nick Bickham says, this just seems like a movie, and I'm here for it. Let's go. Well, how about this? Tip of the cap to Jay Johnson, man. Tip of the cap to Jay Johnson. Year two, man. Something about year two. How nuts would it be? Regardless if you win it or not, you're in the national title in your second year. You're in the national title in the second year, man. And in baseball, I mean, wow. Alston says, curse of number one. I'll be okay if we're never ranked number one again. Ain't that the truth? Witt says 101 RBIs. I thought he had 100. I thought he had 100 because he came into the day at 98. Maybe it is 101. Maybe I'm wrong. Chelsea Williams. Thank you, Chelsea. She sends a $199 super chat. Chelsea, if you have a comment or question, thought, whatever you need or whatever you want to say, you can put it inside of the chat. Here she is right here. She says, that was the game LSU fans deserved. Skeens set another record with 21 strikeouts in the men's college World Series. Thank you, Chelsea, for the super chat. And that is unreal. That is 1,000% unequivocally unreal. Trey Patton, what's up, buddy? He says, my blood pressure's at an all-time high. Tigers, sends a 199 via super chat. Thank you so much. Yes, indeed. Mine is too, man. Like, I literally was having a panic attack. I don't even, like, for me, okay, we watch the game here in the studio, okay? So we got the projector there. We have a TV here. Projector's a little bit behind, but gives me a wider screen. So you got the TV over here, right? As soon as Tommy Tanks hit it and it came off the bat, I started jumping up. Like, I haven't even really seen the footage. I knew it was gone. I waited, saw it go over the fence, and the show was on. I can't believe it, man. I can't believe it. Unreal. Jordan Haydad, wow. Thank you for the $49.99 super chat. He says, I'm booked. Thanks for your season-long baseball coverage, Blake. No problem, man. Yeah, we've done every one of these post-game shows. Every one of these post-game shows. Thank you so much, Jordan, for that super chat, buddy. I really appreciate it. Timothy says that's what your superstars do. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. Great players make great plays in big-time games. They do. And look, it's not going to be it's going to be maybe a little bit of a overshadow, but like I've said, and we'll always say it, and any of you that have played baseball, softball, you know this. Hitting is contagious. Dylan Cruz goes down 0-2, and I'm like, damn it, man. He cannot strike out. He sees a ball, he fouls another one off, and then he hits the frozen rope in between the 5 and 6 hole right there into left field. Hitting is contagious. Hitting is contagious. Man, doesn't this put a cap on? Doesn't this put a cap on the news that happened today, which we will get to at the very, very end? But the NCAA tried to ruin your day with the IARP, with the Will Wade investigation. Well, you couldn't, because Tommy Tank said, hold these nuts. I'm on Blue Chew. That's what he said. Thomas McLeod, $5 super chat. He says, instant classic. Thanks for the post-game shows, Blake. No problem. My man Thomas got, look at that. Hey, man, look at that avatar. Thank you, buddy, for the super chat. Jason Morgan, $19.99 super chat. He says, Tommy White was due for a bomb, and Thatcher Hurd is that dude. That breaking ball is nasty. Also, thank you to Paul Skeens. Can I get a go effing Tigers? Yeah, man. Always. Go Tigers, baby. Always you can get the go Tigers. I want two claps and a Ric Flair, baby. 2 claps and a Ric Flair. Woo! My voice might not make it. Look, you might not be able to understand me, okay? You might not be able to understand me, but we will do every post-game show. Every one of them. I might be talking like this, but we'll do it. Delton, see? He says, I've lost my voice. Colin says, wonder what the shot total will be now. I don't know, but I'm going to go sip me some whiskey, bro. I got to calm down. Mike Howard says, I drive a big truck for a living, Blake, and when Tommy hit that, I damn near lost my truck. Well, don't do that, man. Don't do that. We don't need you to do that, man. Stay safe. Stay safe. Hunter Bankson says, let's go get that football natty next. Well, I mean, I'm a superstitious human being. I am a superstitious human being. And it's crazy, man. Kim in year 2 won a natty. Jay, year 2, has a chance to win his first one. It's crazy. Thank you, Lance, for the stars on Facebook. I literally, look, I'm going to find this. I'm going to find this right quick. Hold on. Mark Verdeen said, hold the rope, right? I literally 30 seconds. If you can see the screen, I'm sorry if you're listening to us on listen to us on the podcast. I put up one of my tweets. It was literally the moment before Tommy Tanks hit the bomb. I said the same thing, man. Hold the rope. Hold the rope. Something about LSU baseball, man. Something about LSU baseball. John Butler, what's up, buddy? He says, thanks for your time and dedication to LSU. Thanks for the night preparation, and go Tigers. Thank you, John, and thank you for the super chat, buddy. Thank you so much. Caitlin says, Paul Skeens is the Joe Burrow of baseball. It's hard to argue that. It's really, really hard to argue that. It's very, very hard to argue that. Look, what Paul Skeens has done, okay? What Paul Skeens has done is nothing short of amazing. What he did tonight, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but like if there's a great player, I'm always going to say number in the rafters, number at the press box. I think there's two guys and potentially three that are on this team right now. You might have to put their number up, bro. Like, I mean, Paul Skeens is a living, walking legend. And Jay Johnson, did y'all hear the broadcast tonight? After everything. Well, number one, Jay told them on Tuesday, or no, what did they say, Tuesday or Wednesday, after they lost to Wake Forest the first time, he wrote out exactly and showed the team on the big board what they were going to do. And Paul Skeens walks up to Jay and says, give me the ball. Give me the ball. You're going to tell that man no? And look, you got to get to a game 3 to see him again, but it's what legends do. It's what legends do. And your three, I would make the argument 4. Your 4 biggest superstars showed up tonight. Number 1, Paul Skeens. We've talked about him. The best outing, arguably, of his entire career came tonight. When you needed him most, it came tonight. Number 2, okay, Trey Morgan, who has been known as the Wizard, former LSU Tiger great. Zach Pearson we were chatting back and forth during the game too. And he's like, he came on this show when Trey Morgan was a freshman and called him the Wizard. Then Lynn Rollins picks it up and starts calling him the Wizard. Superstar number 2 delivers. Now, Cruz a lot tonight. Now, in the bottom of the first, he gets the infield single, but he hit 2 missiles, outright missiles, back up the middle, but the shift killed him. And it was, I mean, on the scorecard, it'll go down as a 4-3. It won't really matter. But again, in the 11th, leadoff, line drive, single. Then the last of your superstars, well, you know who he is. His name's Tommy White. They call him Tanks. Your superstars delivered. Now, they might not have delivered every single time, but when you needed them, the four horsemen showed up. The 4 horsemen showed up. It's what you have to have those types of outings, those types of plays, those types of things to win championships. You want to know how you win natties? That's how. That defensive play by Morgan. Cruz, look, he went 2 for 5 tonight. And he arguably should have been 4 for 5 tonight. If they weren't playing right back up the middle. Guys, did y'all hear KP? KP on the second line drive by Cruz back up the middle. He said, man, if that ball would have been elevated, that would have been something. Because off the bat, he said it was 110.9 miles an hour. Off the bat. And then Tommy Tanks. Let me go through Tanks' night right quick, and then I'll get to some of these super chats. But Tanks' night, let's see. He strikes out in the first. He flies out to left field in the 4th. He doubles in the 6th, the one down the right field line. So he was already kind of seeing it a little. So in the 6th, he's already seeing it a little. In the 8th, he got intentionally walked, which is probably a smart move by them. Very smart move by them, because if he didn't, he might have ended the game in the 8th. Then he comes up in the 11th and hits the nuke. Good googly moogly. Jason Morgan sends a $9.99 super chat. He says, this bullpen next year, though, Blake, getting Newt and Taylor back early to go with Hurd, Guidry, Coleman, Ackenhausen, and Herring, along with Shores, is going to be legit, not to mention the Xavier transfer too, would love for Big Coop to stay. Yeah, you might be able to get him. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. But you're right. You're right. Look, your bullpen has delivered in a massive, massive way. We talked about this last night as well. You had to go Skeens. You had to go Hurd. You had to go the roommates. Did you see Skeens when he came out, when Hurd kept getting out of those innings? You mean to tell me that Paul Skeens has not completely paused, but hasn't rubbed off, like hasn't been a very good thing for Thatcher Hurd? Because it has. It 1,000% has. Guys, you didn't give up a run through 11 innings. That is unheard of. In today's college baseball, that is unheard of. I would love to see the teams in college baseball this year that went 11 innings without allowing a run. I would love to see it. I guarantee you there's not one. There's no way. Luke on YouTube with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. He says, go Tigers. How do we feel about game 1 versus Florida? Well, you know, if we're going to transition a little bit to that, we'll start taking some of those questions. Personally, I do feel pretty good where you sit because, look, I know that they have their full staff. I know that they have their full staff and they're ready to go. But, I mean, man, LSU just continues to find ways, man. They continue to find ways. There have been so many big performances this week. Whether it be Ackenhausen, whether it be Cooper, whether it be Thatcher Hurd, whether it be Paul Skeens twice, name them. Gavin Guidry, Griffin Herring. Like, you've had big time performances from guys that off the mound. What you would need and would hope for is that gives Ty Floyd a crap load of confidence and momentum going into this game. Game 1. That's what you would hope for. And this is just a thought. I've been thinking about this all day today. I was like, man, if we win, I don't care what happens. I still think you go to 3. I think this is done in 3. I would love for it to be done in 2. I would love for LSU to sweep Florida. No question about it. But just my gut feeling is that it goes to 3. And if it does, look, here's the truth. Monday, what's today? Pooh, what's today? Is today Thursday? So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I mean, let me just make sure. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Be 3 days rest for Skeens. Maybe you don't start him. Maybe he comes in and closes. That might be your best bet. We'll just have to wait and see, and we'll have to see what Jay thinks. I have to see what Jay thinks. Trey Patton with a $4.99 super chat says, unbelievable ending. But, man, our offensive approach tonight was good. Tonight was probably the worst of the year. Great teams never give up. I don't disagree, especially in those especially in the early part of the game. I mean, Louder's pitch count was way, way down. Here's the thing, though. In games like this, sometimes you just chalk it up to, man, they're really freaking good. Guys, again, Rhett Louder is easily going to be in the major leagues 2 or 3 years, barring injury. Like, come on. I mean, look at what he did against other major league dudes. He is a guy. I agree the approach, and thank you, I forget who sent that. Was it Trey? Thank you, Trey, buddy. I appreciate it. I get it, but man, like games like that, I feel like you just have to chalk it up, dude. I feel like you have to chalk it up. Travis with a $9.99 super chat. He says, I feel like I'm USC in 2003. I feel like we just won the national championship. I get the reference. I want to feel like LSU in 2003 and really go win the national championship. Jason Wyrick on YouTube sends a $4.99 super chat. Says LFGO. Let's freaking go. How does Florida staff stack up against Wakes and their bats? I think that top to bottom, the guys out of the bullpen are not better than what you saw from Wake Forest, but the three guys that you will see, whether it be Sprout, whether it be Hurston Waldrop that you saw in a regional last year at Southern Miss, and the big bazooka, the big Willie Mammoth, and Jack Caglione. They're good, man. They call it Baby Tawny. They called Caglione Baby Tawny because, I mean, he's going to throw you a fastball. He's going to touch 100 from the left side. But they don't have a lot of left-handed arms. Like, you have not really saw anybody coming out of the pen that was a lefty that dominated the whole time for Florida. And LSU just really does well at times, not tonight. But I just don't like – they don't – Sprout's going to be a first-round guy. Waldrop's probably second, maybe early or late first. I just think that Wake all around, personally, you're not going to see anything better than that. And you know what else? I was talking to my buddy Benny today, who's been in Major League Baseball for 30 years. And you could tell that Wake Forest had not seen any pitching like they had in the SEC. This is what makes it the best conference, man. You got another two. An SEC team is going to win it again. An SEC team for the third straight year in college baseball is going to win it again. Now, I figure that the NCAA doesn't like that from a rating standpoint, but it doesn't matter. Everybody's going to watch this. Jason Morgan with a $4.99. He says Floyd on Saturday, followed by Ackenhausen or Hurd on Sunday. Guidry is super fresh. Herring will be available by Monday if he gets there. Yeah. Well, and you got a couple days rest for guys like Riley Cooper as well, right? So Coop's gonna get a couple of days rest too. Cody McGee says, sends a $9.99 super chat, says Kim Mulkey delivered in year 2. Jay Johnson has a chance to deliver in year 2. Brian Kelly, can he deliver in year 2 with the Natties? That would be crazy. Scott Woodward will get another raise if that happens. I'm going to add to that. Thank you, Cody, for the super chat. I'm going to add to that one too, because here's the truth. I want to get through an hour of pure baseball talk, and then I want to talk on the IARP with the Will Wade stuff. So don't go anywhere. Nevertheless, Scott Woodward saved you massively by that decision today. Could you imagine Joe Oliva trying to maneuver this situation with the NCAA? We'll get to it. Don't get pissed off, Blake. Don't get pissed off. Jason Morgan says, didn't Lewis Coleman start game 1 in 2009 in the College World Series best of 3, then close the game out in game 3? That he did. He sure did. He 1,000% did. Lance says, since 1999, he says, sharing the love, baby. Love winning money off them Tigers. Thank you, Lance. I did put a Benjamin on the game, and I was stressed to death. Not because of the money, though. I appreciate it, Lance, for the super chat. All right. I'm going to try to get to as many comments as I can throughout all of this. Let me scroll back up and we'll get to them. Greg Porsche says, Tommy Tanks, walk-off. Best baseball game I maybe have ever watched in my life. No time for that, though, because we got to get our 17 redemption. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Look, man, it comes down to, can you rally? Look, you're playing for a natty now. Everything's out the window. And I really like, because LSU's played in 4 straight days, 4 games in 4 days. I'm glad that they get to get their legs up under them. I'm glad they get the day off. I know you need to go out and practice, and they're going to do some things clearly, but I'm going to tell you what Jay's going to do. They're going to be out there an hour, and they're going home or going back to the hotel. Get rest, recuperate. Don't let the momentum die down, okay? Don't let that momentum die down. But just get your legs up under you. You get fresh. You go into a series. And look, Jay Johnson, and without LSU and LSU without Jay Johnson, we have literally been here. And so I think you got a chance, man. I really do think you got a chance. Sprout does not really scare me. Waldrop we've seen him. So you got a really good chance, man. I like the momentum. I like where you sit. Big Meal says, Fuck Florida. Who the fuck is that guy? Fook. Not the curse word that has a U in it. F-O-O-K. Yes, indeed. Again, pitching outstanding. Whew. Yes, indeed. Rick says Blake hits 100 RBIs for Tommy Tanks this season for sure. Yeah, I saw somebody say 101 earlier. I thought he came into the game with 98. Chad Selfo says, you're right, Rafino. Wake Forest had a great pitching staff. Florida doesn't have the pitching Wake Forest has. Well, definitely not out of the pen. Definitely not out of the pen. They do not. They 1,000% do not have the arms in the bullpen that is going to be able to compete with this. Wake Forest, I mean, like what you just saw. I think I'll make the argument. I mean, LSU is playing, their staff is at an elite level right now. Like, they're not good, guys. They're elite right now. But in reference to dudes, guys, Massey, Roland, Sullivan from last night, Louder. I mean, all of I would go Wake. I mean, Louder pieced up. Look, let's call it what it is. Louder pieced you up tonight. The long-haired pretty boy pieced you up. He did. But it didn't matter. It did not matter. Because in the end, LSU wins it. But you're going to have to – I mean, we're going to find out. We're going to obviously find out. But, look, as much college baseball as I've watched this year, I just don't believe that Florida has the pitching. Here's what I will say, because everybody's asked about the pitching. What I will say is, though, I do think Florida – I think Florida 1 through 9, though, is better at the plate. 1,000% is better at the plate than Wake Forest is. 1 through 9, you don't take a break. 1 through 9, you do not take a break. So where they may give up a little bit out of the pen, you're getting bats 1 through 9. Those guys can really hit. They can really, really, really hit. And the bats that you will have in this game are tremendous. Like JT Riopelle, the catcher from Florida, I mean, he single-handedly has put this team on his back. Like what he did in Hoover, what he did and their regional and super regional. I mean, the dude has delivered. That is not that may have overshadowed what some of their superstars have done. And Jack Caglione, who's having a off college World Series, but in Jack Caglione, they got Wyatt Langford, the outfielder, who gets a lot of comparisons to Cruz. They got Rivera at short. All of those guys are just they're really good hitters. You can't make mistakes to them. You could make some mistakes to Wake Forest. You can't make mistakes to Florida. Like, you can't. And as much as we either maybe don't like Kevin O'Sullivan, think that he's an asshole because he is, in today's society, you know what his pronouns would be? Ass and hole. That would be his pronouns, okay? Because that dude is just not a cool dude. But they have 1 through 9 that it's not rival to yours, but they got him. They got him. It's going to be a great series, man. It's going to be a fantastic series. Got 2 games. Scott says, Blake, is Hayden Travinski dinged up? He is. He is. Brett B. on YouTube says, tonight I watched my son go from a fan to a diehard, man, this is awesome, to a diehard LSU fan. He called me to tell me he was having a heart attack. We've all been there. I mean, producer Pooh 7 months ago was storming the field. He had to change his name legally. What's your name? Put it in the chat. Sir Pooh Stormer of Fields. Okay, this is the time where, like, your kids. So Brett's son, my son's way too young to remember this. I mean, he's 4, but this is the moments, man. This is what's made LSU baseball what LSU baseball is. 1,000%. Yeah, this is tough. Chili Vic says Thompson needs to hit the cages. He got to hit something. He got to hit something. Levi Achman says, I hope no rain Saturday. Got my work days set perfectly for me not to miss it. Yep, F the rain, man. F the rain. You know what? Here's the truth, Levi, and I know you're not going to like this. Here, you want to know the truth? I hope it pours all day Saturday. I hope thunderstorms come from 12 a.m. that morning to 11:59 p.m. that night. You know why? Because the game will get pushed back. They'll go Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and if you get to a game 3, you got Skeens in game 3. I hope it pours. I hope it pours. Man, this is so wild from producer Pooh. He says, hey, Blake, I took LSU -1.5. That home run was clutch. Man, how does Vegas always know? How does Vegas just always know? They do, man. They do. They just always deliver. They always deliver, man. I don't know how. I wonder how much money they made. Rachel says it's a bad night to be a Jello shot in Omaha. Ain't that the damn truth? Ain't that the truth? Brandon Reese says the cardiac tigers. No doubt. No doubt. Our guy Ryan Williams over at the Drake Williams Law Firm, drakewilliamslawfirm.com. Criminal defense, real estate, titles. My man literally does it all. He says, don't call them the cardiac cats for nothing. No doubt. No doubt. Jennifer says, my chest was hurting. I love seeing this stuff, man. I love when y'all interact. Oh, my chest was hurting. I get that, man. I feel you. Right? Like, I feel you there, man. Rick Kelly says, definitely Sullivan's an asshole. Kevin O'Sullivan. Yeah, Sully's an ass. John Sibley Butler says, Las Vegas has more data and math models to predict. Yeah, I guess so, man. I guess so. Doug Knows with a $199 super chat. He says Tank's homer was against one of his best friends. Was it really? Was it really? Well, and look, let me play this. Let me play this. I know that this is going to be out there somewhere. It's got to be out there somewhere. Pooh, I don't know if you can find it. Can you find Manasseh's, the guy who said it's impossible for us to lose? Can you find that? I want to play that. I want to play that. Yeah, I want to play that. And everybody's like, Blake, it's getting taken out of context. No, it's not. I listened to the whole thing. Selfo on Facebook says, Rafino, as good as a job, as good as, hold on, Rafino, as good as you do your job, LV does theirs better. It's true. Meaning Las Vegas. No shade thrown, bro. It's Vegas. No doubt, dude. No doubt. I'm not going to, you're not offending me with that, brother. You are not offending me with that one. I promise you. Not easily offended. Brandon Reese says, someone posted on Twitter that this will be 8 of the last 13 baseball championships will be from the SEC. That's nuts. All right, Pooh, you can go ahead and play. This is Brandon Manasseh, the closer for Wake Forest a couple days ago when Wake Forest beat LSU. Go ahead, play it, Pooh. I don't know why it's playing. Hey, can you DM me that? Not sure why it's playing. Yeah, DM it to me. Let me see if I can get it on my end. Lance Savoy with a $4.99 via Super Chat. Thank you so much, Lance, for that. Let me see if Lance put in a comment with that just to make sure. And we'll read that. Thank you so much for the Super Chat. He says, just like you said, one day at a time. Yep, no question. No question.
Hey, Blake, sorry to interrupt, jump on the show, but it's ironic that that's who gave up the home run as well.
I know. That's what we said before you because you were, got in here. And that's what I said. It's ironic that he's the one that gave up the home run. No question. No question. If y'all have that, send it. If you have that, send it to me because I want to play it. I want to play it on here if we can. Heath Menard says, guys in the transfer portal considering LSU be like side-eye. Love the show, Blake. Thanks so much, Heath, and thank you for the super chat. Hell yeah, they do. Hell yeah, they do. You really think? I mean, and here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. Tell me you don't love the transfer portal right about now. I love the shizite out of it. Now, all right, let me see. Pooh sent this. Let's see. Let me rewind it. All right, let me see if I can put it up here. Thank you, Pooh. All right, here it is.
Who can beat us? It seems, pretty much impossible. Who can beat us? It seems, pretty much impossible. Who can beat us? It seems, pretty much impossible.
That's the guy that gave up the home run. Can you hear that, Pooh?
Pretty much impossible. Who can beat us? It's
what a dummy. What a dummy. What an outright dummy. Jonathan, I don't know what you're sending in here, but don't put your links to your personal stuff in here. Frozen says on Facebook, say, Blake, I'm from North Louisiana, but I've been in Texas the last 9 years, but I'm moving to Covington to be able to attend some LSU games. Covington, the no-show, 985, baby. Yeah, not too far from me. I grew up in little Franktown. Chili says, hashtag ask Blake. Blake, are you hearing about silent commits from the portal? At the end of the season, you're going to get some that we'll announce. Mike Anzalone says, got to watch LSU win with my 87-year-old mother. She's still the biggest fan I know. Go Tigers. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And yeah, man, like when I hear stories like that, like after losing all my grandparents, both my grandmothers, my grandfather, my great aunt passed away this week. And she was all like, she used to keep us, man. She used to watch all three of us, you know? And it's great to hear stuff like that, man. Enjoy that. Enjoy that. Enjoy that. All right. Let me do this. We got to talk Will Wade. This sucks for a post-game show. It like really sucks. But we do have to talk about what happened in the verdict with the IARP today and Will Wade. Pat Forty was outright roasted by the IARP and the NCAA. So I'm going to give you a recap what it really means for LSU football. They got sanctions. They're on probation. We'll talk about that. But let's do this. Let's talk about my good buddy Tyler Alexander over at eXp Realty. Guys, came in the top 2% of realtors in the entire Southeast. If you want to get your home sold, even if you want to have a conversation with him about buying a new home or selling yours, putting yours on the market, he can deliver. I'm telling you. How many realtors there in the Southeast? My dude's in the top 2%. Go give him a call today. Let him know Blake sent you on by. And let's talk about my good friends over the Drake Williams Law Firm, drakewilliamslawfirm.com. Don't go anywhere. We got to talk about Will Wade next.
He will sell your house and find you a new. Well, Tyler's the man. He's here for you. If you want to buy or sell, well, it's not too late. Dial 955-0008. Just call 955-0008. Y'all call Tyler. He'll shoot you straight.
Talked by the Drake Williams Law Firm, drakewilliamslawfirm.com. Whether you've been injured in an accident, you're preparing for a future with your estate planning, you're getting ready to close in on a real estate deal, or you're about to welcome a new addition through adoption into your family, or you're facing criminal charges, you need very experienced attorneys, and that is what the Drake Williams Law Firm will be able to do for you in navigating the legal system. The door to their cozy office in historic downtown Ponchatoula has been open since 1981. They have helped thousands and thousands of Louisiana families and individuals win cases, close on real estate deals, and regain that peace of mind. Their lawyers over at the Drake Williams Law Firm, Ernie Drake III, Ryan J. Williams, and Summer Vignair, are very determined, compassionate, and dedicated to their craft. It's the Drake Williams Law Firm, drakewilliamslawfirm.com. Give them a call today at 985-386-7600. Tell them your good friend Blake Ruffino at AYS sent you on by. But Will Wade will be back in 10 games. All right, I shouldn't make light of it. All right, listen. Let me go on a little bit of a rant here. If it's your first time joining us, welcome. This is what you call a Ruffino's rant. Let me roll up the gloves. Or the sleeves. Today, it was announced that the IARP, the subcommittee of the NCAA who investigated coaches like Will Wade, Penny Hardaway, Bill Self, others were involved in all that. I don't know how much I have to really recap all of this with you, but I was really surprised when the news broke today how many people we had to recap and talk to this about. Very long story short, go look what happened with Will Wade. You know that he got fired at LSU. You have a pretty good understanding. Well, the verdict came out today, but what was involved in that was the Our Lady of the Lake Funes investigation, and it got lumped somewhat into one investigation because of the simple nature LSU was getting investigated, which the NCAA confirmed today. Basically, they were getting investigated for the death penalty, and good news, you're not getting it. Mainly due to the fact that LSU gave themselves in a football stance a postseason ban during COVID in 2020. They reduced scholarships. They reduced the number of times that the head coach and other coaches could talk with the recruits, et cetera, et cetera. Football is going to be on a 3-year probation. If you don't know what a probation is, long story short, don't get caught. Because if you get caught again, it's like normal probation. Like if you know anybody that's ever been arrested and put it on probation, you pretty much know what it is. Don't get caught doing something dumb. Like, don't get a level 1 violation. You'll be fine. LSU's going to be fine. Okay? With Brian Kelly and Scott Woodward at the helm, they're going to be fine. You don't have to worry about that. Okay? But for basketball, this has been a 5-year-long stint. You've had Pat Forty reporting that, the hammer's coming down. Dick Vitale and his Depends. The NCAA is coming down hard on Will Wade. LSU basketball is done. Okay? Well, newsflash to Pat Forty. Newsflash to Dick Vitale. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. Will Wade is going to be serving a 10-game suspension. That's it. He's got some recruiting violations. He got a 2-year show cause with special things inside that show cause. So it's not like a normal show cause. Basically, he's got to do some things in recruiting. I think in there it said something about fine, things like that. Will Wade is getting a slap on the wrist. It's over with. So basically, this 5-year-long investigation boiled down to what could have taken place 5 years ago. Could have taken place. It didn't. This is my gripe. This is my complaint. Of all the days for the Rudy Poo NC2A, of all the days for you to come out and say that you're going to announce this, you're going to announce it the day that LSU takes on Wake Forest, the day that Paul Skeens and Rhett Lauder, by the way, in your baseball tournament, because the NCAA runs the baseball tournament, you legitimately want to announce it today. The IARP, in a press release, reading off everything, basically said that they knew that it was happening. They got confessions that things were happening, but they couldn't prove it. They didn't have the smoking gun. They came out today and said, we know it. People confessed, but we it's so long ago, we don't have a trail or any way to provide that for you. None. Zero, zilch, nada. The IARP also came out and said, hey, Pat Forty, I tweeted this, okay? They literally came out and said to Pat Forty, Dan Woken, and I think Pete Thamel, what y'all reported on was false. We could find no credible evidence of it whatsoever. Basically what they were going off of, and everything that Pat Forty reported on came out today. The only thing that Pat Forty had was the wiretap. It's the only thing. The strong ass offer. Look, here's the truth. Here's the truth. I'm glad it's over with. I'm glad it's over with. We can move on. This night should be spent on, and will be spent on, talking about you going to the College World Series championship. You're going to the championship. It's over. And for me, it's a very sigh of relief. LSU as a whole, as a university, won today. Because nothing's happened to you. You've already gone through the darkest days. And I will tell you, Scott Woodward saved you, man. You talked to some people around the NCAA. You talked to some reporters who followed the NCAA, report on the NCAA, and that's their beat. And they all said the same thing. I talked to two guys whose main job for the Associated Press is to report on everything for the NCAA. He did not want me to give his name, but said off the record, on the record, meaning just don't use my name, Scott Woodward outright delivered for LSU. That he put on a masterclass of what an athletic director should do. Could y'all have imagined Joe Oliva being in this? You would have been cooked. You would have been cooked like a shawarma sandwich. You would. It would be Joe Oliva's time going through something like this would be tougher than a $5 steak from Waffle House. It would have been impossible. Thank God for Scott Woodward. All right. I'm sure we'll talk about it more, but that's all you're getting from me tonight on it. James Daigle with a $19.99 super chat. Thank you so much, James, for doing so. All right, a couple more before we get out here. Abby on YouTube says Dickie V is peeing in his Depends right now. Yeah, somebody told me he's got some serious health concerns too. But, well, I mean, I wish him the best. I really do wish him the best. I don't want anything bad to happen to Dick Vitale. But, and look, me and Dickie, what was it, guys? What was it, like 2 years ago? 2 years ago, we played the video on here of me and Dick Vitale going back and forth. I mean, Will Wade did it. He's guilty, baby. He's guilty as sin, baby. The only guilty thing of sin is that you and Pat Forty lied your asses off. TJ Landry says spent on Jello shots and a bunch of drunken. Go Tigers. My man's feeling it. My man TJ's feeling it. Doug Nose says Miles' all-time winning percentage took a hit. Yeah, I mean, look, the NCAA can vacate wins. You don't have to. I mean, Les Miles' legacy, okay, goes down to what he did off the field. Okay, so it is what it is, man. It is what it is. All right, let's wrap it up. I am glad to have a day off tomorrow. I am super glad to have a day off tomorrow. But you know what? We'll see you Saturday. Let's go have a great weekend, guys. Peace.